Test, test. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is, gotta work like on one screen to make this one. We are gonna, wait, we have the address. So let's go to this thing called Title Pro. And it's the quickest way for us to get an APN map, which is the most basic of property line information. So thankfully the Lord blessed us with that free access to this thing from a local realtor or a title agent. This is a really expensive program to be able to use. And so we get in and we go put the address in here. So copy paste, and we get that out of there, and then put Merced.
Oh, I got space.
It doesn't let me do all that. Merced, okay, and hit search. And so in this program, I can get, once I find the property, which I did, then I hit get now, I'm gonna get the report. And the get report will produce another tab here in a second. Great. And once I get here, I'll always save it. So I'll go ahead and convert to PDF and save the file under the project, under APN. But this isn't itself an APN map. This is just, you know, as you can see, it's just a bunch of property information. There's some decent stuff in here. What its last sale price was, all this stuff. But when we get down here, there generally is a link for most of what I come across that will be for the assessor map. So this is the map, but this is the actual file. So I'll click on the PDF file and I'll save it to that same exact place, which is right there. Boom, and I'll open this up. Now, I can flip this, no problem. And what is this? Well, the APN, according to the report, is 060. That's the book. The page is the 670. The 010 is maybe the 010 is the page. So I might have this wrong, but anyway, you just get the idea. And then the last digits are the 010. So I come looking at, should be looking at like 10. So see all these numbers with circles?
Mm-hmm.
10 would be
The
somewhere.
bottom left one of the right side.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. And so a lot of times I'll just go highlight it so it's easy to get to. And and if I went and looked at this in Google, I think we have that, right? Camerino, Google. Okay, and I go look at this, and I see these properties. That's pretty.
That's on.
That's pretty much what it is. So we know we're talking the same story. So if I wanted to, I could actually go and refine the property lines and the information and get it even tighter. Like I can go look for that parcel map at the jurisdiction where it's basically Madera County, and I could probably get that parcel map and get more accurate bearings and distances and all that. Totally irrelevant. All I need to do is get this thing close. So at least for what the kind of work we're doing on this thing. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to convert this to an image. So I'm going to just export that page, and I don't care that there's the box on there, and I'll just hit export, and it goes right to where the file is. Okay, there's the image of it. Then I'm going to go into my, I never opened it up, Civil 3D file, and we're going to start drawing this thing out. Now, show you something that I don't necessarily need to bring in here, but it'll make it nicer. Is let me go see back to Google Earth. I wish I had a good way. I wish I had like a state plane map that told me what zone I'm in for Google, and I don't think that exists. Let me see. State state plane zones KMZ file. Is there a KMZ file? I would think there would be. And a KMZ file lets it come into Google Earth. Let's go click on here. I'm sure it exists somewhere. Fuji. I just don't know where it is. All right. How about state plane zones by address? I wish there was just an easier way to go check this. And we're usually not in different zones and stuff.
It's gonna be just a little north of us, right?
Let's see how good this one is. Yeah, I don't know. No, we're not using 1927.
It's almost certainly zone 5.
Huh?
It's almost certainly zone 5.
Madera County. Let's see. Merced. No.
No? You think
No.
it's 4?
Yeah. I think we're at somewhere between 3 and 4. And it's just not a zone I really know. So this is like just, well, and that's the problem, is I don't know exactly. And this is the wrong state plane system anyway. But I don't think they're that different. So let me go to NAD 83, I think. Yeah, the NAD 83. Why is that not? What am I doing? Alright, let me go here. So I have state plane coordinate systems. Oh, it's gone. Try this one. Okay, and this is kind of done by county. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we're talking Merced County. And so I think we're somewhere in here. See, this is cool, but I didn't realize I had this one.
It is nice.
Let me bring this over here, and I'll bring it out to right. Where did I have it? I just saw it a second ago. Oh. Delete that one. So why am I missing Merced?
It's right there.
It
Zone
is?
3.
Zone 3. That's what I was thinking. All right. That's what I was thinking. So we're in Merced. So that's a good one. I like that. That's a good sight. So I can get rid of this stuff now. And the reason I can do this, or why that's relevant, is I'm going to go and in this program I can set the coordinates under the tool space. So if I go to tool space and go to the settings, right click and say edit drawing settings, and I'm going to go change from our default from NAD zone 5 feet. I'm going to go pick NAD 83 zone 3 feet. Okay. And then when I go into here, also go to geolocation, and I can turn the map on. And so I can actually draw this thing, like I don't need to draw it right on top of where it really is in state plane coordinates, but we're gonna do that anyway. And I'm gonna say, hey, edit my location from a map. And I'm gonna put that, nope, there. Okay, see how it targeted right there?
Mm-hmm.
Drop the marker there. And if I'm not right, I should be able to, yeah, it told me where I'm at. Okay, then it's saying select a point for the location. Alright, that's fine. And specify the north angle. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit default. I'm not sure what that part is. And now where did I go? I got lost here. Now where is this? Alright, let me go back here to marker elevation. Specify the north angle or first point. Now, why can't I, I'm gonna grab that coordinate right there. Why can't I get that? Okay, I'll go right here. I'm getting these coordinates. And then I'm gonna go mark the position so I have something on there. So my latitude wants to be that right there. And then, oops, my latitude, boom, without a comma. And then my longitude. Is that it? Oh, I'm having problems. Alright, let's try it differently. So from here to let's see if I can get this to work. Ugh. Alrighty. Why am I having trouble here? Marker position. Okay, marker position. Places a position marker to specified point. Okay. Eventually you'll get this. So in this box, let me go back up to that. The latitude again. Oh, you know why? That's not the latitude. That's a point. That's why. The latitude and longitude came from over here. If I use those things, I can do it. So let me. I can't snapshot. So it's and I can't. Let's see. Can I? Oh, I can take it right there. Boom. There's my latitude and longitude. Okay, that makes more sense. All right. So then I go back to my position marker, and my first one is that. I need to get rid of the comma and cut that. So that's my latitude, that's my longitude. And now it created it, and I'll just put here. Perfect. Okay, that's the point I want to be at. All right. So what I did was I went into the edit location, and I could have gotten this latitude and longitude from Google Earth as well. But once I put the address in there, it took me to the right spot. I could sit there and view it and go, yep, that's it. and that's the latitude and longitude I want to use. So I copied that, and then went over to the position marker so I can have something on the screen to boil into. Now if I turn the map on, because I have the right state plane coordinate, watch what happens. Boom. Pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have that. That's one piece. The other piece is, and I can go ahead, one of the things I'll do is I'll just, I'm assuming that that's the whole property. That was, if I go back here, that looks about right. So what I'll do is I'll cut just beyond the property. So I'll say capture the area, and I'll go, you know, kind of like that, that's fine. And then what I'll do is I'll turn the map off, but I captured the area already. Then what I'll do is I'll take this capture, and I'm going to reload the image, optimize and reload, and then I make very fine, so I get the best image. And then I gotta reload again, I guess. Let's see, I did the wrong order. No. So once I reload it, I'll just hit very fine. I'll take this and put it on, I got a bunch of image layers in here. So if I go to use the image filter, and then go to, I'm gonna put this on the Bing, because it's a Bing map file. Now I have that in there and I can use it, and I can also easily turn it off if I want to. Next thing I'll do is I'll bring in the APN. So sorry, that took a little while. Let me get rid of NOP for now. I can leave road. This is Camerino. So in the civil one, usually I'll go into civil and I'll go to the drawing and drag it out. I have to rename it. Call that Camerino. Okay, so now I have that drawing. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, I'll do that. I need to save it there. But what I needed was I'm pulling in the APN, which is right here. Okay, and I'll specify on the screen. That's good. Relative FAP, yes. Specify on screen. All good. Perfect. Okay, and I'll go put that, and I should have an image APN. Okay, and then what I also need to do before I go much further is save this file. So I go back to Camerino, and I'll call it Camerino. Camerino. How do I spell it?
E-R-I-N-O?
What?
E-R-I-N-O.
Yeah, E-R-I-N-O. And I'll put site plan. Okay. Alrighty. So this map, I need to size it. So I'm already north. You know, that's straight up north. Along with this is north. So we're good. So what I tend to do to size these, to scale them, is I'll look for something that like kind of the largest dimension on the map I can sort of find real quick, and go, okay, let me use that, because the longer your line, the more accurate that scale will be. So if I just pick between these points here, and then I go reference from here to, looks like it wants to be right there. That's 781.34. Okay. So what should happen is if I go check another one, this should give me pretty close to that dimension. 268, I'm at 261. That dimension might be to right there. No, I'm not telling you the truth. 439.30. It's pretty off. It's gonna go, oh, because I went to the wrong dimension. I picked from here, and it's from here. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I'm off. Okay, it should be that off. From there to there, that wants to be 781.34. Now if I go check my dimension from there, we're gonna see that we're pretty close. 445. not that critical. There we are. I mean, that's pretty close, 220. So I literally could just draw the lines and not even make them according to the dimensions, and I'm good enough for this kind of project. But what we're gonna do is I'll show you how to draw this. We're gonna go to layers and pick the boundary group, and we'll go pick property line. And the first thing I'll do is I'll just start off at one corner. And I can't remember if that dimension, I can't remember. There's no arrow, so I don't know if that really goes to this. The way it's drawn, I would assume it goes to here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna, because of the dark line, but it doesn't mean that's accurate. Okay, so from this point, I wanna go that bearing and that distance. So I come up to this thing right here, and it's, I'm in the wrong place, over here. So angle distance or bearing distance, I want bearing distance. So I click that, and that's northeast, that's southeast, northwest, and northeast. Northwest, I mean, yeah, that one. All right, so the opposite, if northwest is going that way, then the opposite, the other direction is
Southeast.
and so since we're not going that way, I know it's the southeast direction. So I'm gonna go just pick quadrant 2. That tells me I'm going southeast, and all I have to do is put the bearing in there now. It's 89 point, and those are 33 minutes. So I put in 89.33, there's no seconds on this one, so leave it there. And then specify the distance, 247.21. Boom. Okay, then I go to the next one, and this is northeast. Well, that is the direction, so I'll just go pick this, and I'll call that 1 degree. And what this means is 1 degree from north, 1 degree 33 minutes. You know how to read bearings?
No.
Okay, but now you know. It's 1 degree north, so you're always going from north. And so when it's north 1 degree, it's 1 degree angle, or
Right.
one degree 33 minutes. And that last dimension here, that was, if we're going east, what that's saying is from south, it's 89, so it's just barely, it's almost horizontal, right? It's 67 minutes less horizontal. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. That's how bearing and distances work. Okay. Alright, so this is being funky. It wants 1 minute, 1 degree, 33 minutes. And the distance is 439.30. Okay, see how I just went right on the property line?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go grab this one. And I'll say, hey, that one's northwest, and that's the direction it's going. So I'll go pick northwest. And then I'm gonna put in 89, so so from north, 89 degrees, almost horizontal again. Okay, so 89.45. And the dimension is 261.76. Okay. And then the next one is my little boxes got in the way here. Let me go look at it here. This little thing wants to be, should have made it bigger. 418.20. Okay, so what quadrant am I gonna pick?
It's gonna be 3.
Right. Yeah, good point. So we go 4, period, and then when there's seconds, you don't put another period, you just go to the seconds. I got too many seconds. Alright, so I go that direction, and the distance is 141.72. Okay, got me to that monument. And then the next one is, what quadrant's that?
2.
That's great. Good, you're catching on quick. Okay. And then 2 looks like 97.77. Alright, and look.
Right on.
Well, close. It didn't close, but that's pretty amazing. So these APN maps, they are a close approximation to the properties, and this is where the assessor builds his tax listings from, or it's part of the record keeping, right, for properties and so forth, and other things. It's multiple record pieces are relevant to this, but the tighter information is on the surveys, the record of surveys, boundary surveys, parcel maps, other things that like sometimes these APNs have very accurate bearing and dimensions, but then they're taking these maps and they're integrating it into real world, and sometimes there's adjacent things, and so they pull information from an adjacent thing, but it doesn't fit with space, So anyway, like you noticed, it looks pretty good, and on the parcel map, it better close with like less error than that. But this is great. So I have that, and this would be considered right here a right-of-way because there's a road below it. So we'll put that on the right-of-way layer. Okay, and then I know that the road, based on that little thing right there, the road actually is like 60 feet away in this, well, shoot, it actually changes like partway through, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like, oh, that's 70 feet. Okay, so no, there's a 10-foot easement right there. So, so what I'll do is I'll just go, I'm gonna offset that 60 feet to get the other side of the road. And then a lot of times what I'll do, I'll go over here to say property line, and I will, I don't even care exactly what that dimension is, but I'm gonna go just draw that line, and it really doesn't matter how close I am. This is all schematic, right? Kind of schematic. And then I'll take a line over here, and that's that property line, right? So I got that line, this line, this right away keeps going. But what happens is I call this right away beyond, because it's gonna be on a different print style. Right away beyond. Now this, even though the property goes to the middle, that's actually it's the property line, true, but it's also a center line of an easement. So half on each property are giving easement to an access road right here, right? So what I tend to do is the same thing. I go to here and call that boundary center line, and I'll match this right here, and then I'll take this center line piece. Looks like it's the same bearing. I'll pull that back some arbitrary distance, and I'll call that center line beyond. Okay, and so and then I'll take this right away beyond, and I'll take that right away beyond. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. And that pretty much defines that property, okay? One of the things I like to do, I forgot about this, is I tend to take images and put them at 50. It's a lot easier to read that, right? See what you're doing. All right, so I'm gonna take this to the back for a moment. Now I'm gonna just, okay, I wanted to see where that marker is so I don't screw things up. I'm gonna grab all my stuff and bring it over here. The other thing I can do even is I can take this image and I can right click and say, hey, give me an image clip, and just clip, I'll make a new boundary and I'll leave it rectangular, and just give me a clip right around there. That's good enough for me. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go back to that image group and turn on the Bing map. And this is where group comes in real handy right here. I'll make this a group, I'll select all these objects. So the cool thing is all these individual objects, Control H toggles the group on. And now I can just click one element and not lose one of those lines, you know, there's a bunch of independent things, right? And now I can go and like overlay this and go, hey, let me come back, I'm gonna add something to the group, Control H, and let's go ahead and get a center line here. So offset, that was 60, so we're gonna go 30, 30, 30, and these are center lines beyond. So I'll go match these here, and I'm gonna go match this here, and what dimension is this? Does it say? Somewhere it should have, see how they're missing a dimension there?
Dimension for what?
I could probably figure it out, but for that road.
It's
So-
not that 297.77?
No, the
Oh, the width.
the width of it, yeah, like they show it here, but they don't show it there.
It's probably
And
40.
I can get that from, yeah, you're probably right. And I'll just measure it, and it doesn't really matter. But go from here to there, and yeah, I'll go with 40. So offset 20, and that's an easement line. So go back to boundary group. The reason I have the groups in here is it's just, there's so many layers in civil that it's just easier to see the stuff you want. So boundary, and this is easement line, okay? And I need to go and extend it. And I also need to do that one at 20 feet. And then I need to join them or fillet them right there. And I need to extend that, okay? So now I've got that easement all dialed in. And then what I'm gonna do is go group, edit, and I don't remember the name, but I can just click an item in it, and I'm saying add objects, and I'm just gonna select the whole thing again to make sure I got everything. And now, toggle H, it included those extra lines I had, okay? Now, I'm gonna go take this, and you do what you can. Trying to figure out how this thing's working. So,
Yeah.
that doesn't look good. You know, so what the heck?
And your center line and your other side of the property line just don't look good.
Yeah. And
But that looks pretty decent.
now center lines don't necessarily match, and depending on when properties were formed and all this stuff, it can make a big difference. You know, that property line, as you can tell, looks pretty darn good. Like I'm splitting each property, so sometimes these center lines can be way off in
Mhm.
reality, like where they put the street. Obviously, like this shows up way over here, and it could be the angle of the picture. It, you know, there could be rotational issues because there's magnetic north and real north. You know, when you look here, it's like, hey, that fence line is really nice. Then this is just like, who knows, hay, whatever. And notice how, you know, that fence line isn't quite, this one looks perfect. I can't tell if that's really, you know, the fence is over here or here, but it's close enough. It's really fine. And so for all practical purposes, you know, the driveway is all on their property. You know, this is a legitimate approximate layout, okay? So now that I have this, I can go ahead and leave that put, and I think I already had my APN off under images. No, I can turn the APN off. I don't need that anymore. Still exactly in the right spot, but I just don't need it. And then I can start drawing the house and different things. So I'll go to layers, and I'll say, let me go to building at this point. I'm gonna put existing, and I'll make that current, okay? And then typically buildings are square. So if I draw a line again, I'll try and draw these lines like, okay, you know, you get as close as you can, get as close as you can. You can't, you know, it gets pixelated. Sometimes I'll take off polar so I can just be exact here, and as close as exact I can be, right? And go, hey, that's, you know, and temporarily I can change the color too, so I can see it again. Or I would use a different layer and then switch layers later on, whatever. So that's about good. And if I take this and I go overlay other items, you know, that's, you know, you'll end up having some, depending on how they took the picture and angles and whatnot, sometimes these things will get out of square, and so whatever, you just make the best of it. But because buildings are generally square, I draw my line square regardless of where the picture is, okay? And I also will like measure like here, like usually things are even. So see how that's 23?
Mm-hmm.
No, 23.9, that's 20, 23.9, it wants to be 24, okay? And then if I go from here to here to here, you know, that measures 30.33, no, that's offset 30. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm being a little more exact on this to show you the routine than this particular project really calls for, but you'll use the same methodology for doing this a lot. And then, so I'll come over here, and I'm going to draw to a perpendicular line. Okay, see how that got off?
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just, you know, like I said, we're making the best of it. And I could keep doing that same thing. If I measure from this point approximately to there, I get 64 and some change, so I'll just call that 64. Okay. And as I go through, sometimes it gets a little, well, these are all polylines. And I should, for the moment, I can get rid of these now. I don't need that marker anymore. I should actually be using lines. It's a little bit easier when I'm doing this kind of work. And why that's different is because if I go fillet it, it's still a line. If I take two polylines and fillet them, they'll join. And then doing this stuff can kind of be a pain. So you'll see what I mean when you figure that out. So I'll offset this 34 feet instead, right there. I'll get rid of, I think, that one. So is that 34 feet? Yeah. So I'll fillet that. And then I'll go here to there. And what do I got? That's 29, who knows? Whatever. And at some point, it doesn't matter. But that's what you do to try and get as accurate as you could. And then usually most houses have a 2 foot, oops, I didn't do that perpendicular. I could just take this line that's already perpendicular and just go put it right there. And I can go, not draw it, I can just go take this line and go, hey, right about there. Okay, and now I can fill it here, fill it there and there. Whoops, wrong way. Fill it here and here. Fill it here and here. Fill it here and here. Okay, get rid of this ridge. And that's pretty much the print, okay? Now, remember, now if I go and hit P and select them all together, boom, they're all combined. Now they're polylines. And typically, like I said, a house has a 2 foot overhang. Not always, but usually. So I can assume that the actual footprint of this house is 2 feet offset from the overhang. Okay? So it's actually like that. And you'll be surprised how accurate you can get these things. And sometimes you'll go out and do an as-built. You're trying to like, man, I didn't have the right measurement. You'll go measure it here and transfer that information. You saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Anyway, I don't know what that is. I'm going to assume it's a patio, you know, so.
Yeah, this looks like a concrete slab.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a shade cover thing or what, but I'll just call that building 2. It doesn't matter. And so for the meantime, I'll put that, and then I'll come over here to a different layer. I'll go to site. Site means, in my world, site is like things on top of the earth. Okay, so I'm gonna go to concrete, and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm using concrete existing, and the L is for a line, and I can start drawing my line. So sometimes when I have a bunch of curves, I just like to use a spline. I don't like all the segments it creates later on, but you can kind of like get a super tight, nice curve with splines.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just the more vertices you use, the more exacting your line is. Sometimes it's a pain. So sometimes when you're like doing something like that right at the edge, it's just you know, and it's hard to like straighten it back out. Okay. See how that little piece is like not very cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you can like, oh, okay, let me fart with that, and it gets kind of done. You go move that a little bit, but at some point it just gets kind of ugly. Okay, so that's the one downside of splines, but I'll keep doing it. You know, you could, you know, it's hard to say whether that's an exact dimension. It looks like it's actually widening, which is kind of weird. So I'll just go draw that inside line. Oh, and by the way, this goes all the way to the street, which is way out here, beyond the right of way, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
So, what's that? Fans out, yeah. And again, close enough. Okay, so I can leave it like there. I can draw all this stuff in. I can put that in there. Watch this. All right, I'll do it. So from here, you convince me. Okay. You see how I got messed up since it's not one continuous line.
right.
I think I can do spline join, spline edit, spline join. But you see how that really gets funkiness, and it never goes well when you do spline stuff like that. Okay, that's close. All right, and then I'll come over here and assume the flare is underneath the drip line. Oh, this is fun. They're fun. I like drafting. Okay, and then I'll just kind of assume the apron is right there. I want to really mess up. Okay. It doesn't like coming out of curves and like, you know, like a straight line in a radius. It just doesn't work as good. But anyway, so we have that in there. We have if I go to road real quick. Well, let me keep working with the concrete. So I got concrete here, and I'm just going to assume it goes all the way over. I can't tell, and it doesn't matter. I just go here, and then that's not a very nice perpendicular line. How about from here perpendicular to it? That's a little better. And then I'm going to take the spline again, and I don't know what that is.
Abandoned hot tub.
Yeah, who knows? I'll just go around it. Doesn't really matter.
Maybe a shower pool.
It might be. No, I think that's the spot right there. I think that's like a barbecue area or something. Who knows? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay. And I don't know what's going on there.
Picnic tables.
Yeah.
Why are you not going to include that?
I don't know. At some point you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. You try and get as close as you can, and then no one cares. You're just showing approximate for this stuff, and depending on for this kind of project, okay. So that, and then we have obviously we have an interior line. So we'll do this one here. pretty amazing though, right? I mean, to sit here and think we never went to the property and we're drawing out like the shape of their pool on this for free. It's pretty wild, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and we have some little who knows what structure, and if I draw a rectangle and I hit rotate, I can rotate to that angle. Just don't forget to rotate back on your next one. That looks like a structure with no roof. So I don't know. What is that? So I can rotate that one.
So
You
open
did
top
a
back.
job with M&E Designs, how are you?
And I'll go
Good.
match these guys right now.
I thought we were gonna meet today. Was I wrong?
Okay. Got those in there, got that in there, got that. Okay, then I'll draw the fence over here. Just draw it across. And boom.
Oh, okay.
And then what I want to do is put that on site fence existing. And
Hey, good.
okay.
No worries.
And then I'm gonna take
When
this
do you
line
wanna, are you gonna be,
and I'm gonna offset it by 6 inches, 0.5. Now remember, this is all feet,
okay,
whereas architecture was inches. And I'm gonna fill it, that line, instead
Yeah,
of just convert it
let's
and boom.
San Jose,
so now I
you're
have the fence there.
probably about 2.5 hours out. Did you wanna meet end
Yeah.
of the day today, or you wanna meet tomorrow? Either way works for me.
And I, you know, based
Okay,
on
yeah,
how
I've
this
gotta
all
meet
looks and how
a
clean
heating
everything
guy
is, I'm gonna
at
assume there's a
my
fence on the
house
back as well.
Sometime
So
between
I'm gonna offset
8 and 10.
again,
So
1 foot,
we'll-
0.5. So I'm gonna offset
Perfect.
this and offset
We'll
this,
do it then. Sounds good.
and I'll fill in these, and I'll just go match the properties here.
Why don't we, it probably makes sense to actually meet there.
Let me go and, I'm gonna break
Yeah,
there.
okay, so I'm gonna change that to
Hide that,
meeting at
and
site.
take this away, and unhide it.
At site,
Okay.
and let's see, I know I have her
And
address, but let me
oops.
make sure I got her unit number.
That didn't combine this one there. I can use the P to polyline
Right.
join.
Okay, yeah,
And
it's 1810 Adelaide.
Thinking that I'm
Right,
in the
is there a
street,
unit number?
I probably don't
Or
wanna
is
take
that-
that
or
fence
does
into
he
the
add-
street.
Oh,
Right? Probably not. And then, I can't tell, you know what, one of the things I can do, I always go right here and go into street view. See what's going on.
Okay, great.
No.
All right, and then do you want to give her a call and let her know we're coming?
Yeah, so you can assume there's fencing all along, right?
Okay, great, so I will see you tomorrow at 1 on the site.
Oh, bummer. You're gonna miss
Perfect. Talk to you later, okay? All right.
that. Yeah, there you go. So now you get some exactness, right?
Yeah.
Trees and lawn and whatever. So this, all these tools are what we use to put this stuff together. So there's fencing going all the way to the front. So same thing here. I'm just gonna go off, 0.5 feet.
Are you working here tomorrow, Silas?
No.
Okay. Contractor had to go up to San Jose, so I'm going out to the site tomorrow, but I'll take a bunch of pictures.
Okay.
You wanna use the, 3-dimensional camera? 360?
I can give it a whirl, is it hard to use?
Depends what kind of dexterity you have with your finger. If you can just go like this, then,
Sounds tough.
it's pretty rough.
Okay, I think I might be able to handle that. I'm not meeting until 1, so we can go over it in the morning.
Okay. Alright. Let me, I'll bring it in right after we're done with the site plan, and I'll show you what you do.
Oh, okay.
Actually, the only thing that's tough, I'll show you, there's 2 buttons on it, and if you forget which button you're pressing, you'd be like turning it off and on, but we'll go through it. It's easy to use.
Okay, so now it's double from, pushing one button, have to figure out 2 buttons.
No, it's just, as long as you can, John, start practicing.
I'm just giving you a bad time.
Practice.
I'm just giving you a bad time.
I know you can handle it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay, so we have all that. The next thing is we can do is go to trees. Trees. Oh, you know what? I have the trees under survey. So if I go to V survey, kind of a weird spot. I had to change the default and just put it under site. I don't know why I don't do that. I'll do that today. So if I go to V, hold on. Let me see. Maybe I'm just speaking out of my. Oh, I do have a tree there. I just missed it. Okay. All right. So the tree uses a tree line type, and you know, you think that's obvious, but the tree line thing, like, okay, we're on a small scale, so you can't really visualize it. Okay, try it again. See, and depending on what direction you draw your tree line, like, it'll have the wrong, like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
you know what I mean?
You gotta
Okay,
go
so
clockwise.
typically, well, yeah, okay, you're right. So with this one, you want to go clockwise, and if you ever draw them and you're like, oh, I don't want to redraw it, just go take it and change the tree line to there's tree line left and tree line right. See that? So that's the stuff I'm talking about there. So you can just go take, we're on existing layer, we'll use spline again, and you just do like that. We're not going to sit here and do trunks everywhere or anything like that. And bless you.
Thank you.
I gotta look up that thing you were talking about. And I don't sit here and necessarily get every bush. I just try and make it like look half realistic that, you know, we have a site plan that's legitimate. And this is totally acceptable. I mean, we've done this a gazillion times. Oops, wrong direction. You know, I've never gotten this back and said, your site plan doesn't look like da-da-da-da.
Needs more trees.
This tree isn't there. Hey, that's a bush. All kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm not gonna get too crazy. Well, I probably am already crazy, but that's a different conversation. Alright, is this like pretty complicated?
Extremely.
Okay, you should be able to master this stuff. Yeah, and sometimes it'll pick points, or like if you have elevations, it'll really work with your elevations in a funky way. And then C for close. Okay, that's good enough. Got some trees there, got trees there. I'll give a few more trees just for fun, because it is fun. Let me tell you. This, I mean, like pressing buttons like this, like, you go home, you feel like you really accomplished a lot. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, like you're weird. Alright, good enough, okay? And essentially, there's nothing else on here that
Do you hatch your concrete or anything?
yeah, I do. I do. So what I'm getting at is there's no other major, like I don't know what that item is. I don't know if that's a planner or who knows what this is, what that is. It doesn't really matter. I can go look. I have the main things on here. The next part, so since I'm pretty much done with this, oh, the one thing I didn't do is I can go here. Okay, I have my center line. I'm going to go ahead and yeah, I'm gonna do this. Let me draw a straight
Get right in,
line.
John.
A straight line that's a tree.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go to
You out there?
road,
Doing okay?
road, and call that road EP. So the road is EP, and it's EP existing. I select that and make it current.
You know, I had that happen with like Toby
And,
James. My nose is running like crazy.
That's
It
road
won't stop.
existing current.
You know,
And I'm gonna move it from
I
here
must be, I'm
to
getting-
right there,
you know.
but it didn't move. I'm gonna try it again.
I'm getting old.
Move.
I'm a senior citizen now, so I'm getting old. All right. So, well, you keep your
And-
germs over there, so I won't get
Right.
germs over the phone.
Oops, I messed up that one too. Sometimes it snaps the stuff and you don't realize it. So, I'll- I gotta be there, I'll select nearest. And see how on both sides that's not accurate? See how the road went off?
Yeah.
Sure,
That's, and this happens with roads. I mean, it's just whatever. It's no,
Okay.
you know, there's nothing special about what we're doing.
Too many beers at the road construction crew.
So instead of doing it that way, I'll just do it this way. Boom. And I'll come in here, you know, and yes, there's really a curve there, so it, you know, boom, 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 boom. Okay, whatever. All right, you can even do it this way. You know, it should be curves, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, and then boom, boom.
Okay, so 19 is the biggest one. 21, okay, so basically 7
All
foot.
right, so you see I'm being a little
Okay,
wonky.
and
a little
it's-
wonky here.
And it got the.
That's because
if I remember
because
correctly, I
life
saw they
gets
all have to
wonky,
be
for real.
rigid
All right,
frames,
and I'll just do it this way now. I'll go here. Boom,
bracing,
boom,
bracing roof.
boom, and boom. So okay, it wasn't parallel.
Columns would be.
And then I'm pretty much there. I'm not worried. I'm not going to do the road there because it's not right. It's not on.
Right.
So I'm just going to leave it alone.
Yeah, do you have
And,
more
um,
specs?
And then remember this was on its own layer, so now I can turn it off on its own layer. And boom. Okay, so now I'm going to go check to make sure that my concrete joins the EP.
Whether I have to do a rigid frame
And-
in both directions.
And it's
Because
looking,
that,
ooh,
yeah.
figure that
and
almost
then
right on.
I could brace your roof,
Okay,
convention,
and
base.
extend this to there.
Okay, let me look up something
Got
else
that,
here
got that.
while we're talking. Let me see, what was the
This one, see how that got a little funky? I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna make it parallel with, okay? Then I'm gonna come over here, just go stick it in the corner. I'm gonna send it to the back, so the red shows right now. So, I mean, all in all, that's we're pretty good in there.
Yeah, no problem.
Then, so as you mentioned, let's go in here and we'll hatch it. So let me just turn on only the concrete and the EP layer. And I should have the house as well. So, house, building, existing. And by the way, I'm just gonna go grab everything there. In fact, I can do like this. I can do BLA, and that'll make everything by layer instantly. Boom. Okay, so it put that back to by layer, which is what the real coloring is. And so now that I have just those, I'm gonna hatch, and I'll just pick a point in that space, and I'm gonna pick a point here and pick a point there. Now
Oh, you did your patio too, right?
I'm calling that a building.
You call
And that's AR concrete, and then I need to go put it on site, a site concrete existing H for hatch. So that's the one I want to be. I'll just double click it. I don't want to turn it off, so keep the current layer on. And then I'm going to hit CL to change the layer to that object that's current, or the layer that's current. So I have that. Now, my EP, if I go into road again, all over the place, existing, I'm using a continuous line type, but I want to use EP layer, which this is a pretty common thing for surveyors to use this line type. See how it has a little thing right there?
Mm-hmm.
And then see how this is the wrong direction?
Okay.
Well, you don't know, but this is the right direction toward the EP. So since this is the wrong direction, all I do is hit reverse. And I reverse the direction of the line, reverse the direction of the line, which is REV. reverse, reverse. Look at that. And we're golden. See that? So,
I'm not sure about goals.
so turn all that back on, and so we got a lot of, we got a lot of good stuff here. That's pretty much what we need. Now, some reason or another, there's a double line there because that's a fence, actually. And that's really what I got. And, you know what, there's a fence over here too. So I'm gonna put here, I'm gonna fill it, and fill it. And you could even get a little more, you know, I'm gonna hit EA for break right at that point, and BA for break at that point, and I'm gonna go like this.
That's right, 'cause there's X bracing in one direction, there's a ridge.
Well, okay, since I have Google,
In one direction and
it's
X
a single
bracing
gate.
in the other.
So what I can do is take this gate and go like that.
You don't need to do that, but send me the specs, because
Okay.
if I don't have to do
BA.
frames, and we take molds out the
BA.
base, then we can do pretty
I'm
much
gonna
the
take
standard
this
stuff.
and go like
But I have to read the specs. So yeah,
Kinda
shoot
shows
me
the gate
those,
entry,
I'll read the
right?
specs, and I can let you know, give you a better answer.
that's
I don't like how you moved your post.
Sure.
actually I don't like that there's no post here, but I don't feel like adjusting it. I can make it a little bit longer, or I can change the scale slightly, but you know, like I would rather have it that way so it shows, hey, this is part of that fence, but it's obviously a gate.
It's the east
It's a sliding gate, you know. Anyway, so that's pretty much it, minus over here at correspondence from Muscardi. There's the new PV structure. Yeah, this was 17 by 60, right?
Yep.
Okay, and he tells me where it is, right?
And I can answer that question.
So I can go and put a new building. So I go back to building, and I'm gonna go draw a rectangle, and I'm gonna draw it, I'm gonna rotate the angle so I'm perpendicular to the structure, and then I'm gonna say at, and it's 60 foot long, comma, negative 17 foot deep. See how it started from here and went 60 and down 17. I'll look one more time
I'd have to check that.
for his,
Yeah, go ahead and shoot me more info, and I'll check that stuff, and then give you a call back.
so yeah, it's pretty close to here. Yeah, right in there.
Okay, but go,
And,
go ahead and, yeah, the written specs. and
So I got it pretty darn close. Okay, so I'll go hatch this, this building. I'll make it solid, and then
Okay, sounds good.
that wants to go onto building, and it wants to go onto the building hatch. Okay. And then one more thing that we'll do is let's,
Draw some cows.
no,
No cows?
that would be a good idea, but I'm gonna leave that to you. Okay, so there's in civil, there's a way to label lines. And if I open up the line label, I forgot that I'm on video, and I hit line and curve, some of the stuff I'm doing off screen, and I'm gonna hit single segment, sure, bearing and distance, okay, and I hit add, and I'm gonna hit midpoint of that line. It didn't work. I'll just put it there, that's fine. I'm gonna put it here, that's fine. I'm gonna go over here and put that right there. And then I go over here, like that. And like that. And like that. And like that. See, that went all the way through to, I can get off Control H. See that bearing is there. So, you know, I've shown these dimensions. Now this is a technicality again that doesn't matter for the level of work we're doing right here. But if you draw a line here and you don't distinguish where that line is to, you don't know if it's to this line or it's to this line, right? So the way you would do that is crow's feet, and
Like those arrows that were on the other one.
yeah, so what I'm gonna do, it's been a long time since I used crow's feet, I'm gonna hit that line, okay, and boom, it did it for me, okay, I just put them on the ends like that, see? And that very well delineates that 261 is from this point to that point. There's no other places like that I have that issue. Oh, it could be, you could say this one right here, this one could be that issue too. Okay,
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
that's
then-
definitely confusing.
and then I thought that when I use crow's feet, oh yeah, see I can do this too. I can also do, now I don't have a good way to do this for this thing, but sometimes like you'll see in a survey, you'll see another crow's feet and a crow's feet, and that one will go to the next one. I don't really have that ability. But what I can do is just say, look, DA, I'm just gonna put a dimension here, okay, and I'll go put it on boundary, and I'm gonna use labels. And that's what all of these actually need to go on. Right, it puts them on 0 layer. I need to go select all those things, so pick them all up, and I want it to be to go onto labels also, okay. And then I'm gonna do, since I'm on labels, I can hit CL and make that current, and kind of assume that that's the same dimension all the way through. So there's that. I can put in here, for a road, it's kind of getting in the way, but it's
Hey,
fine.
Pat, I can see
You gonna
John
override it?
designs.
What's that?
Take a
You gonna
flat,
call it 60?
468,
No.
93,
No?
And I'm gonna go
97.
DCC,
Say
and
there's
I don't
emails
want it to go
going
from
to
there,
you today. If
so
you're
I'm gonna
driving, I assume you
hit
probably haven't
return,
had a
then go
chance
from
to
this
look at
point,
them. Anyway, when
I'm
you
gonna
get a chance,
do like
take a
that,
look at them,
and then I'm gonna come all the way back
and
again,
give me a call, and we go over them.
and take
Basically,
this,
in
and
a
go-
nutshell, I wasn't sure whether you're gonna put a kitchen in that addition
okay,
unit.
and then,
I know you were thinking
while I'm on
about
that layer, I'm gonna
the
hit,
sink, but I don't know
wipe
whether
out.
you're gonna put a stove
And,
top.
it doesn't
If you
matter if
do,
they're
you
rectangle,
could
cause
then
there's
bypass this
there's
whole
no-
minor use permit
nothing,
stuff,
like if I had hatching here,
which
and I
is-
was gonna, and for whatever reason I needed to create
It's
a
doable,
wipeout,
but it's
then I want that
pain. But
rectangle to
anyway,
be rectangle,
and it doesn't have
as
to
opposed
be
to
a
some weird
real big
shape. But
kitchen,
here,
but
because it's all black, there's
efficiency
nothing there,
kitchen,
I don't care about the
so I
shape.
think those things
So I'll just do a
cost about
wipeout here.
$600. In one of the emails, I shot you an example, it doesn't have to be that.
All I
large,
need it
but
to
it's
do
that
is just
type of
to
thing.
clean up where it is.
And,
And this is
you know,
unfortunate
you basically
because,
are gonna end up saving
because,
that amount of money in permit time stuff if
Um,
you go that route. But give me a call when you have a chance.
I lost my train of thought.
I can go over this more, we can discuss those now.
What is unfortunate?
So,
oh, these don't have their own background mask.
Right.
Like,
it's
so
not
that's, well, yeah, like text is, so this is why I have to do this way, it's, yeah, bummer. So, you just get in here and get it there, and then, you know, the fact that they're not background masks, if you move them, you gotta come back in here and move the, move the stuff, the wipeouts. You gotta remember that they're a part of that.
If you're making a wipeout like that and you just hold the mouse down, does it do the custom drawing thing? No. Because like when you're selecting objects, you can do that, right?
Oh, yeah. So, okay, so then I'm gonna turn the wipeout frame off, which is this off button, and I'm gonna take these guys that are left behind and just bring them to the front, so they're in front of the wipeout. So these are all draw order things, right? And that puts that text in front of there. Now, the part I screwed up on is these dimensions I usually don't put in here. I forgot to make a sheet. I just lost track of what I was doing. So what I mean by that is, this is where the site plan is gonna be. Let's figure out what scale we actually needed before I even know how big the text is gonna be. So I'll unlock this, I'll zoom in, and my surveyor that I first started working with, he said, look, typically you're gonna have north from here to here. Some version of that. You know, you're usually not gonna have it backwards, but the reality is you'll see plans and stuff with things all over the place. But he always taught me, hey, look, if you can, it's either north is straight up, which would be this, and then like that.
I like that.
But that view isn't good because I have all this wasted space. So so in order to just rotate 90, what I'll do is I'll take my little Z and I'll just go like that, okay, and then I'll rotate to that being current, and now I can zoom in a lot more and get a better scale. And so once I get it kind of close, I'll go, actually that doesn't tell me anything. I'll hit Z, and I'll hit 1 over X, P, Z,
1 over X.
what am I doing? I've been doing this for 20-something years. I can't remember that command. VPX. Okay, VPX is one, that was a random retard moment. It's close to 20, right? So I probably can't squeeze out, and a typical scale is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, and then increments of those. So I probably can't, and I do site plans at 5 scale though, because sometimes it's just like, there's no point not to. And so Z, and I'm gonna try 1 over 10, but I know it's gonna be too big, right? So that's not gonna work. So Z, 1 over, that's where the XP came from, 20 XP, I just, you know.
That looks good.
Yeah, that looks great, actually. It looks terrific. Don't be shy. Okay. All right. So that actually was the dimension that I drew those at. Now, typically, I'm drawing these dimensions in paper space. I don't have, and the reason for that is because all the other plans are going to have different information. I don't want to have to go in and turn those off on other viewports. So, in this particular case, it doesn't matter because there's nothing else that we're doing.
Right.
So I'm just going to go ahead and leave it for now. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to, a site plan always wants to show distance between buildings and property lines. Hi, come on in. So I'm still on labels. I think I have a dimension one somewhere, but I didn't go there and find it. I don't know. Yeah, no dimension, yeah. Okay. So, so I'll do this one for paper space, just to show you the difference. Now, when you snap to points, like watch, if I do DA, which is not dim aligned, and I go like that, it tells me it's 0.33. But when I snap to points, it automatically
Goes back to the scale.
knows the scale of the viewport I'm doing. And so now watch, that same distance is actually 549, right? Okay, so I, just for the sake of it, I don't really care. I don't think that they have an exact spot, but it, just intuition, I'm like, nah, they probably need 10 feet. So I'm just gonna go put that 10 feet in there. So I'll take it from here, offset 10. The fence doesn't make a difference, but they got plenty of room, and he didn't give me any dimensions. And I'd hate for them to like get it back and go, hey, you can't be this close, and then they get a plan check item. It's just stupid. So we'll give them more space. Okay, so back over to here. Get rid of that. I'll hit DA. And man, dim linear. No, dim aligned. It's dim aligned. So from here, perpendicular to here. There we go. There we go. Okay, now theoretically, that dimension is facing the wrong direction, because when you read plans, you read them from either this direction, this is the top and bottom, so you normal text, or you're looking from this direction, because this is the binding.
Right.
You're not usually flipping it and having all the papers in front of you. So, I would say that that's really not an appropriate way. Even though that's really like, okay, you're either horizontal or you're some version of, and in order to flip it the other way, we're actually going to be more than vertical, right? But I still, like, I would still change it in this case. So come over here to this, go to text, and there should be a place here
There's
where
text view direction.
I can go, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's not great.
What's that? What's that?
Said it's not a great list of options, but
Oh,
whatever.
there's a ton of options there. All right. So then from here, where am I at? I'm here. I'm here. I also want to go dim aligned from here to here. And, you know, I'm going to go to there because that's the easement and that's obviously the road, but whatever. And then somehow I'm going to get this out of the way so we can get in the project over here. I think I never locked it, so I want to make sure I lock it. Because as soon as you start zooming when you're not locked, you'll lose that scale. Okay, then I'm going to go take my text, also in paper space, and go, where am I? Let's get out of this view.
Done road. Is it?
Yeah, and then I guess, okay, so that road is just a private easement. It wasn't actually a road. And that's,
I thought it had a name. Well, it probably does.
yeah, it had it in that APN map. You're right, it said,
Creek. Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
you're wrong. It might be a name too, but since Google does not say
Cottonwood.
Cottonwood Creek.
Cottonwood.
Yeah, this looks like a road that did never get adopted, because it's not going anywhere, I
Right.
think. I don't know. Here, what we can do is we'll go like this. Cotton Road,
W.
Cotton. What? W.
Yeah. That's how you spell wood.
Oh yeah, I was spelling something else. Road. No. I keep going to road, it's creek, Cottonwood Creek. And we'll leave private road on there, because it looks like that's what's going on. And then to get to text orientation, TO, and then I can orient it on that line right there. And then hit TMT for backwards mask.
I mean, that's the wrong road you labeled right there.
Oh man, why didn't you tell me?
I did.
Oh, you did. TO. Okay, there we go. Boom, boom. Oops.
No, looks good.
You little wise guy, you. And, you know, since I'm doing this, I might as well go one more and say go offset, go 20 feet. And that would be somebody's, what is this line?
What was the fence? One's the road?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm demonstrating this wrong. I would go ahead and put, since this is actually the property line, I'm gonna make that a property. I thought it was a road before, but it's not. So, I'm not gonna suck those together because it'll erase the labels. And then from here, that is an easement layer. Should be an easement layer, not right away. And I got the wrong thing on there. So go to boundary, easement, and then I'm gonna match this to that. That's better. Oh, and I gotta do the same thing here. Offset 20, and I'm gonna fill it and match. Okay. And that's not center line beyond, that ends up being property line beyond.
Suppose. Maybe.
Yeah, but when it's a road, it's a center line. When it's and your property can go to center line, but when it's this kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's, I can pretty guarantee it's really just the property line is here, and it's just an easement, it's an access easement onto everybody's property. and it was a condition of approval of the parcel map they created.
Is there a backwash on that thing, or you got tree lines invading your text there? You don't know?
Say what?
Is there tree line stuff invading your text there? It doesn't look like it.
No. No, it's like, this is,
Oh, it's
yeah, it's in front of.
then you got a name of the road.
Yeah, I'm just kinda looking going, hey, you know, it looks funny cause the trees are right
On the road.
on the road.
Because the
yeah.
road's up there,
Yeah.
realistically.
Yeah, or vice versa, where, I don't know. And that's another thing, like actually,
Well,
the road may not be built in the right spot. It's possible.
The road's in a different spot than what we have drawn, but what we have drawn is what the APN said.
Right. So what I could do to make it look a little better is, because we're all, it's just conceptual anyway, I can take this and kinda go like that,
Nice.
except now my trees are on the road. On the driveway.
I don't see a problem with that.
I know. It's cause you're like that.
Well, you should have just done your shift select there.
Shift select. No, I'm trying to move nodes. What do you mean?
I mean, you could have just moved a bunch of nodes at the same time.
No, well, because it's splines, it'd just be a mess.
Oh.
So I move the bulk and then just get these out of the way, that's all. It's not a big deal. And, you know, obviously this isn't right, but close enough. Okay.
Just put a note on there saying trim trees to site plan.
Shut up. Alright, okay, so that's all good. And then typically I'll put these in the middle, okay? And that's pretty close to it. Oh, I can get rid of that one. That doesn't belong there. And I can put, I'm gonna do an arrow instead. So go over here to piano, mtext. Okay, new solar shade cover. Okay. And then this one wanted to be done red.
Guess they're not gonna be building it anymore.
Okay,
No?
I agree. Okay, and then see that's north. So I'm gonna draw a line, put my ortho back on. Okay, and then for some reason in this version I can no longer, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but it used to always work. So some reason in this version I have to take it out of paper space, which is a whole other step.
You could just
Now I can align parallel with that because it's in paper space. Now my north arrow is pointing north.
I was gonna say you could have just put your north arrow to flat and then moved it by the number of degrees based on the bearing of the actual deal.
I'll leave that to you.
Okay.
You are welcome to take the longer approach and really.
I don't know, is it really longer?
No, well, no. It used to be all I had to do was draw a line in there, and then I can just spin this to parallel with that line. Now the only difference is I have to bring it out of paper space, and CS is change space on an object. So I can draw a line in paper, and then I can change space and put it into model. And see how it's not there anymore? It's in paper. It's in model space. See that? You catch what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, all I gotta do is take it out and then I'm good. So I changed the scale to be the scale of my drawing. But if you,
1 inch equals 5 feet.
yeah, and we go to 20. So
One
site
equals
plan
5
20, what?
It's not.
Yeah.
1 foot equals 10 feet.
No, it's 1 inch equals 20.
Oh.
I tried 10 at first, it was too big.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm just thinking backwards.
Yeah, you are thinking backwards. Really backwards. So that's it. I mean, I look over here and do the same kind of thing I normally do. And how's things looking? Yes, yes. Crow's feet, got that, done road, private drive. Oh, up here, this is bogus. I'm not gonna have an area disturbance here, so I'm getting rid of that. I'm gonna get rid of the legend, so I just don't need it for this one. And I'm gonna leave, as I always do, that right there. I'll just go ahead and leave that up there, because I don't really, it's fine.
Is it gonna print?
Yeah.
I think you should just make it funny shape.
And I'm gonna go over here, and this is my utility gizmo. I'm gonna go over here and borrow that. So anytime you do utilities, you're supposed to call 811, have a USA service alert. Now it's in public, but you could do it on private too, and it's not a bad idea. People hit stuff that they don't know is in the ground. All right, so this is pretty much done.
Better be.
Now,
It's on Dunn Road.
oh yeah, dude.
That's why I assume they don't have to work on the road anymore, because it's done.
Yeah, I know, I got that. Just wasn't gonna laugh, but it was good. It was good. So I'm done with my APN map. I'm good there. Now, the thing that I don't have a note on, was that, like I said, I'm sure the guy told me it's all combined. So I need a bunch of information from them. And
What's all combined?
let me see what I did for Dexter. Well, my original Dexter plan, see, because this is a solar project, and we're going to combine the stuff. So if I go back to like my original submittal, it included all that too, and this and this. So this site plan is what's there. Duh. Okay, and then what I need to do, I'm gonna go ahead and, I can always put this stuff back if I wanted it, but I don't need it. So I'm just gonna go grab all these tabs and delete them. Okay, and I'm gonna go kind of follow my template I had here, and I'm gonna call that PV2. So it normally, well, I'm not gonna change it here. The PV1, if I hit DC for Design Center, and I go open up a drawing, let's see, what's called open drawings. I'm going to say open, and I'm going to go to Dexter, DEX, Jeff Dexter. I'm going to go to civil. I'm going to go to drawing. Now watch this. This is so cool. In the Dexter drawing, if I open that up, there's a layout. I'm going to take that PV1 layout, add it to this plan, and gajam. It brought everything except the viewports on the wrong stuff. But see how I got this whole layout like right here. You catch what I did?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's on video.
Yeah, you're good. I didn't put any contours in here. I forgot.
Did you mean to?
I usually do on a site plan, but
I mean, I think
all right.
our area is really, really, really flat.
It is, but you know,
We probably have two contours.
it's okay for me to do it, and I'll show you how I do that. So I go to InfraWorks. Let's get something good you can see, and I'm gonna hit Control C, and there's my copy. Okay, so I'm gonna hit Model Builder, and I'm gonna go hit the I'm gonna go paste that in there, and it's gonna take me to the property just like I would expect it to. Okay, now sometimes it's hard to see it from here, but I don't know. I think it's right there. Okay, but I'm gonna hit the aerial, and then boom, it becomes easy. Boom, there it is. I picked it up. So what I want to do is I'm gonna grab an area again, a little bit outside of where I need to be. It's not gonna hurt me then. And I'll just go like that and say that's the area I want. And remember, okay, I want to go use the right one. Well, usually I use CA83VF, but in this case, I'm in the 3F. Okay, and hit OK. I'm going to describe it. I'm going to call this the
Camerino?
Camerino. Hey, that's good. Okay, I'm going to hit create model. Now this is kind of a weird deal, but it takes a while. This happens, I think, on Autodesk Server, and then kind of sends me back an option to get in it. So I'm done with this one. It'll email me when it's ready. In the meantime, I'll wait for that to come through and we'll go do something else. So over here, this is going to be can't wrong thing here. I'm gonna go here. Camerino. Hey,
I don't know about that one. Camerino?
hey man, I just changed the race.
Did you?
I did. And I forgot the APN. I closed it down too early. I just changed the race, man.
There's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, it was.
So if you just put all zeros, you'll be close.
Oh, the APN. Okay. So I'm gonna go 0, 6, 0-670-010-000. Okay, and this wants to be boom, boom, boom. How about try that again? Boom, boom, boom. How about, sometimes stuff doesn't go in there.
I mean, it should have already been copied.
Well, you know, it seems like you have high expectations.
Oh, you know what it is? You're not editing the text box, are you? Oh, you are.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I should be. What kind of monkey
Oh.
business is this?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got 2 lines there. You're not in pass rolls either.
I know. Okay, and then Control Shift U. And I don't know what this is, so I need them to give that to me.
Are they going to send you some sort of plans for this solar, or?
Yeah, and I don't know. So,
Or are you supposed to send your plans to the solar people?
well, I'm sending them to the contractor, and he'll kind of fill the stuff in.
Alex and Lisa, right? I'm not so sure about the Lisa part.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
This is the owner. Lisa. Okay, and we got that. We get this one more time. I don't have their phone number. Control F. Okay. I'm gonna change this from last year. 22.
Wow.
Wow, I was right. Sometimes life doesn't work the way it's supposed to. Oh shoot. And this needs to be Merced County.
Where's AHJ?
It's the authority having jurisdiction.
Okay.
So they need to figure this stuff out and give it to me. Okay, so now I gotta go back over here and actually do this stuff. Okay, so undo this, unhinge it, boom, boom. Okay, and so again, I'll kind of see if I can get all that in one spot. And
I mean, you don't probably need the back half of the property.
no, yeah, that's true. That's true, but that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you're gonna put cows in them.
Yeah, so the only thing is, I'm not gonna have that much more width anyway. doesn't really change that much, so I might as well, I don't know, I can, that's fine, but let me go see what that is, I'm not gonna, VPX, yeah, it's still 1/20. So, if I do 1/10, and I flip it, this is almost square, I'll get a little bit more out of it, but I don't think I get 1/10. So I might as well just make it 1/20 and do the whole thing. Or close to it. Oh, wait. That's 1/20. You know, stop bothering me. You know, that's just yeah, that's a problem. Alright, let's call that 20. Okay. Stop harassing, right? Okay. Okay, and this one has a visibility.
Saying my silence is violence or something.
Very violent. Very, very violent. Okay, and then I'm gonna go grab the stuff from here, copy, and put the PV1 in the front. I'm gonna call that, rename it PV2. Over here to PV1, and okay, and then just do the rotation thing again in the right spot. This one's like, it's almost no point in having that one.
The creek?
Yeah, well, what?
Nothing.
No, I mean, like, this site plan, I can almost get it with no, like, not having two, and just leave this one, but whatever. I'm just gonna stick with the format we've started with. Just use the same thing. Oops.
AutoCAD thinks it's so funny sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I did forget that. So sometimes I might do something like that. Oh shoot! I got a call about Rio's place. Oh shoot! I went into paper space. This is model space. Paper space. And you know, really, I don't want an arrow. Usually, if I have text without an arrow, I don't do it that way, but that's fine. And then we'll call this. Use the same thing. I don't know what those dimensions are going to from Dexter. Oh, it's kind of a similar deal.
You already have those somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, it's on the next page. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong one. The first one I did was this one. I had that, and then I had that. And so that's why I had I didn't need all the dimensions. Hey, those other people had a pool too. Everyone that's getting solar's got a pool.
Well, you got solar and we didn't have a pool.
Really? I don't have a pool or a solar. Alright.
Existing grass. That's
Yeah.
funny, don't you?
No, that's dumb. That is dumb. Yeah. You have to point out the obvious. Did I put that here? Oh, I did. Look at that. That was a dangling note.
I mean, why do you call it out at all?
Oh, just to say what stuff is. You know, just so they have an idea of what the site is. That's all. You're trying to, a site plan is a picture of the site. And you know, for stuff that we're doing like this, as long as we're close, that's all that matters. So I'm gonna get rid of these, get rid of that, and then we're good. So now my next thing is, what did I do after this? I go back over here and go plots, and I think they finally gave me junk. Let me try again. No. I think I just put all these things
Did
together.
I say a 3-line diagram?
Yeah.
That's cheating.
Why?
It just is. You're only allowed to have one.
Okay, so there was my final stuff.
Oh, and you got rid of the grass.
Why?
It doesn't say existing grass. Oh, no, it still
Oh,
does.
it sure does. I don't even think I really got rid of that. Okay, and those are other sheets. Now where did I get that stuff? Let me see. I'm having a brain fart here. I got a lot of farts actually. Okay, so man, I gotta edit that out. Details. Yeah. Sorry, I'm stuttering here. Go to DC. I don't have my routine on this thing done. It's the only time we've done this for them. Usually we just do the structure, and then this guy Tim, he actually has a whole bunch of this stuff for us. So this is really cool for you to learn it.
Mhm.
It'll be easy work and really good money.
Yeah, seriously.
And he's a nice guy. Like he's interested in. He's like pretty much retired, like young. And
Mhm.
he's just like, then this thing took off, and he's making all kinds of money doing it. He's like, well, I'm sharing the money with you. You know, that's his attitude. So anyway, it's a really good opportunity. But all that to say is I haven't done many of these yet. So let me grab in P4 and P5 and also bring those in. So I have P4, and let me shut that down. Now the problem with this is it's going back to that spot, which is right here in Dexter's details. So what I'm going to do is go up, grab the details, and then I'm going to go back to Camerino. And this is the beauty of having relative references from having exact, is because when I go XR and I go into here, I should be able to go reload. And see,
Looks great.
you like it?
I want to see what that looks like. Pretty good. Thanks.
You're where's that? Where are you at? Are you leaving? Oh. All right. So this was a cheesy thing. So the first time I did this, and I don't have this down. I will clean this up. Actually, you're gonna be cleaning it up at some point. But I generally don't do this kind of thing, where I take somebody else's drawing and then like just borrow from their drawing and X-reference it in. But that's what's going on. Is this is coming from a different project altogether, and let me just go in here and go, hey, let me go to Dexter. You'll see what I mean in a second. So you've seen a little bit of what I do on plans, where I always bring details into the project that I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one particular case, it was just sort of a trial run and whatever, and I was trying to push it out the door, so I didn't do it that way. But if I go to Dexter, drawing, where this stuff is, and I go to PV1, that's that one. There's PV2, that was that one, shoot. And see, that's an example of zooming and not having, I go to PV2 and it should be locked, so I can zoom out. Okay, and then I have PV4, and the question here is, if I go to X reference, I don't care about that, I don't care about that. What are these? That's layout of details. What am I doing? So I'm disoriented for a moment here. Drawing, details. Yeah, right here. So what kind of monkey business is going on? I took this from details, and then I was over here in Camerino, civil, drawing, details. Okay, so let me if I go look for the place where it is, Camerino, details, and that wants to be 4, so pick the right one. Would you like to apply the same path to other missing references? Yes. Okay. All right. So for some reason, so even though I put them there and I tried to reload them, I could either do what I just did, or I can close the file and reopen it. Sometimes it does it by itself, but in this case it didn't. Now this, for whatever reason, it brought with me, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I don't need the one from the other one, and I don't need that from the other one either. I don't know why I have APN VM. If I go look back at Dexter, I didn't have a vicinity map in that one ever, so that's just weird. All right, so did you follow what I just did?
Yep.
I cleaned these up. Now one thing I want to do is notice how that's no longer relative. It's using an exact path.
Right.
I can just right click it and say use relative, change path type to relative. So that's cool. And then I leave the signature there like that. So if I ever give files to people, I'm not handing out my signature to other people. So what I would, had I remembered right, I would have taken those details and brought them with me already. So when I loaded the file, I would have already been there. But anyway, you see how to get that done. So now if I go here, you know, this is like some colored box or something or whatever, just so I can cover, watch. This is kind of funny. I don't usually do this kind of thing, but you know, I'd make them all my own. And these are standard details, and everybody uses them and whatever. But we'll clean it up later. So now I've got all that. That's their attachment details and all that stuff. So I've got the whole plan thing together, and it's my turn to go.
Your turn to go?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Where are you leaving?
Let me save this up. I'm leaving over for the kitchen.
We'll be safe.
Hey, Mr. John.
Yo,
You, do you want any, eggs or cinnamon muffins? Or oranges?
no, I'm good, thank you.
Can I listen?
No, I'm good, thank you. Thank you.
Shoot. About to pause it.
Then you wouldn't have resumed it.
Hmm?
Then you might not have resumed it.
Possible.
You can edit that out.
So, this is different than Project Navigator.
What is?
No, it's similar. It's called Sheet Set Manager.
Well,
This is for all AutoCAD products, whereas the Project Navigator is just for architecture. But Project Navigator is built on top of this. We're going to say new sheet set, an example sheet set. That's cool. It's pulling from SCAD. That's right. I'm going to go here and the name of this is going to be, can you guess?
done.
Okay. I'm going to go put it in the right spot. Sheet set properties. Darn it. I hate how I don't have those as capitals all the time. Owner, Alex. Can I find it? There it is.
2830 done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Hit next. Hit finish. And then what I'm going to do is make different sheets. So unlike Project Navigator, I can't import current sheets. I can only go and import layouts. And I got to go to the file after I've saved it, grab it, and that's cool. I'm going to import all those things. Then I need to go to that sheet set and organize them. 2 goes before 4 usually. And then I'll rename these.
Did it go before 3?
And we'll call that the site plan. And what did I call that before? I don't know what I called it. How did I call this?
Camerino?
No.
No, that's what it says.
No. Project details. And then I go to PV2, and we'll make that 2. And we'll call that site plan. And then a single line diagram. Oh, okay. I gotta create a PV3 in there as well.
See, I told you it couldn't be 3 lines. It's only a single.
PV. This wants to be details. There's PV4. And photovoltaic. Okay. And then okay, so I got that in there. And then one more. So even like, if I keep doing these for him, what I'll do is I'll just have a generic project, and I'll copy even the project into different folders as well for the civil part, and that'll make certain things should go faster too. So I don't have to recreate this every time. It's going to be the same thing always. So then I have one more. That's import layout. I'm going to go to the structural plan, Camerino. See why I put these over here? Because I just constantly go back into them. Just a quick way to do that. And I want to do the solar one. All the rest are going to be unchecked. Okay, and just bring in the solar thing. Same thing, I got to go back into here and clean that up. Say S-1.1 framing and foundation plan.
Foundation? I guess so.
Yeah. How the poles go on the ground and how they're founded. And then one thing I'd forgotten to do was really want to have another page in here, create a copy of that layout. I'm going to drag it over to here because 3 comes after 2 sometimes. I mean, it's not always, but. Okay, and I'll do, and you have to save it first because it won't recognize that there's another sheet in there unless you save it first. And this is another common problem. See how they're all grayed out? It just does that. So you close it and then you reopen it. There's lots and lots of junk like this in AutoCAD and just the years that go by. Wrong one. I went to the structural, not the civil. So I want to grab that PV3 sheet.
Not a lot of smart. Already figured it out.
Yeah, because the other ones can't be grabbed. But PV3 and the PV3, the only reason for really having this in there is to remind me to replace the dummy sheet, as well as to be able to create I don't need to go redo this because it's the same, but I would basically take this sheet, go like this, and say import sheet as set. Wait a minute, what happened? What?
What?
I don't know. You'd go to here, insert sheet list, and legend is the right one, and then Wajam. Oh, see how that's all messed up? So that needs to go here. Okay, and then if I go here, and I go here, and I go here, you'd think you'd see a difference. But Wajam, it worked. Okay, but they're the same, so I'm just going to delete this for now. And if I try and hit update on this one, it won't recognize it because it comes from a different project. But it's the same, like I said. So I've got everything. The last thing I'm going to do is go back to InfoWorks. Didn't take that long to get it, but we were busy doing other stuff. So there it is, Camerino. Just go inside. Time for some popcorn.
Popcorn.
Takes a few seconds to generate. Okay, there it is in the email. Came at 1:15, so it came half hour ago. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes usually. What I just said is want to present share the model. All I did was come in here and now we're going to go to present share, hit share, and hit export 3D model. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and use the entire model. I'm going to go ahead and select where I want it to go. And in this case, it will be, oops, wrong place. I'm having problems here. Let's go to Camerino. And go into Civil, and there's an InfoWorks folder. And you can rename this or not, it doesn't matter. Just as long as that's the right thing. Hit the export button. And that's pretty much it. I can get rid of that. Go into here, go into model, and watch this. This is the beauty of state plane. Okay, everything overlays on top of those particular coordinates based on the coordinate system you're working with. So if I go over here to insert, and I insert the InfoWorks model, and I go to where the file is, Camerino, there it is again, InfoWorks. Silly me.
Where'd you put it?
I exported the wrong format. There's a couple different ways you can export this thing. So it won't take that long to go in this time. Just the first generation. Present share and export model. did do an FBX. Hold on. What is my issue? What am I doing wrong? Share. Oh, export IMX. Hello. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, something was wrong with that, but there it is. I went to the FBX and not the IMX. Okay. And I'm not sure where the FBX file is, but I want the IBX. So boom. Export. I got the entire model. No problem. It's great. There it showed up. Now I can get rid of this. Now I can go in here. Now I'll see Camerino up one, down one, over here in my underwear. It automatically detected the coordinate system, and then I hit open model, and wazam. Now that is retarded. Now normally you'd see it come right over the top, because that's where we were. I did not know why that happened. And so like I said, normally this thing would drop right on the spot. That's what State Plane does. Some weird thing. I'm not going to track it down right now. We'll deal with it the next time. Oh. Because did I do it here? Am I all over the place? No, that's camera. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so it has two things in here. Okay, it has. If I load this thing out, first of all, it puts the alignments in there for the roads, and they're pretty accurate. I mean, more or less. And here's that one road too. Okay, this is like a mapped road or
I
something.
think that road's in the wrong spot though. Let's see.
What do you mean?
I'm saying
Our
the-
road?
No, our road's in. Well, I mean, yeah. I guess both our roads would be in the wrong spot then.
Okay, let me just while we're here, I'm gonna group these. Okay, I'm gonna group all that stuff. And normally I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm gonna do it today because I'm not gonna figure out what the issue is. Let's just keep going. It's not critical. I normally wouldn't do it, but
Hey Ryan, John.
for this project,
Okay.
no point. So
Basically, each of these
hard to see
have
stuff,
got
but-
6 columns to them. There's a center column in each of them. Yeah, no, I looked at both the
See how that's
foundation
pretty
plans
darn,
and the
like-
elevations.
Look at that.
Because they've got,
It has the road right in the
they
easement
show
spot.
where
So it's just there's something wrong with the picture
all
slash
plans show a column mid-span.
different things. But anyway, the point is I'm pretty close, and this will work. Pretty amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay, what sheet are you looking at?
that's close. Close enough. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of both of these. Not rid of,
Okay.
but I'm going to hide
Go to the
both of these
south
things. So I'm going to hide
elevation, you
this,
see that there's
and I'm also going to hide these.
13
and
overall, and then 6 foot 6 and a half
and-
approximate, 6 foot 6 and a half approximate.
Then I'm going to go over here to tool space.
Yeah, the number 9.
And I'm gonna
is
say
a-
on Prospector tab, I'm gonna go to Surfaces, create surface,
But
and I'm gonna
8
call that
is a
existing
light, I
surface,
believe.
and it's gonna be of
8
that
is a
style.
light, so
for
that probably, okay,
Okay.
that 9 where they wrote it.
Then I'm gonna
that
go to the
should be a
surface,
7.
I'm gonna make
Because in the
modifications
west
to it,
elevation, you
and
have
under
another
edits, I'm gonna say
7.
paste
So,
surface.
they did it
The
as
first one I'm gonna
example, and that's
paste
a flood
is the
line.
ground one.
So, and when
Okay.
you look
Ooh,
at
that's the one I just brought in.
um,
The second one I'm gonna paste
foundation plans
is
to all
the
of them,
road one.
let's go with foundation plan.
And it didn't change
Yeah, there
contours too
are,
much, but you can see that there's some stuff going on with that. That's all right. Then I'm gonna take this, and instead of it being
No, there's
that
a foundation plan
style,
on
I'm gonna go to
here.
existing style.
For that one.
And you
that's
notice how now I have contours.
Okay, so there's
And look
five-
at that.
one.
I mean, that's pretty stinking amazing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, it's not exact, but
You probably
we're
didn't
not
print
too
it. It
far
was
out.
in the- it was in
There's a
the,
little weird stuff going on there, but it's, in general, it's reasonable. So then, the one other thing I'll do is I'll label some contours. So I'll go over here to surface now, that's the feature. And I'm gonna go to contour, and I'm gonna leave proposed, no, not proposed, but existing major and existing minor. And then I hit add,
Of 48, yeah.
and I just can go over here and go boom, boom. There it is.
Nice.
And I can go over here and say boom.
Yeah, because now let's see, because the
It is
canopies,
pretty flat,
let's
as
see,
you
we've
noticed.
got one,
Okay, and whatever. Okay, good enough. So now, when I go look at here, I've got some contours with contour labels in there. Now I don't know why it's showing up behind, so let me,
they just kind of overlay.
what's going on there?
Photos of
There it goes. Okay,
Sure.
so, did I just, oh shucks puppy. Dang it.
Right.
There we go. So,
Well, they've got them drawn,
Okay.
they've got these things drawn poorly, they don't show any framing.
so I have all these done. I'll save this file. And then the last thing I do here
I mean, they,
is on Camerino, I'm gonna
yeah,
publish
and
these.
well, I mean, even up at the roof, they just.
Camerino, I go to the structure. Whenever I have just civil, I'll plot just in the civil folder. Whenever I have civil and structural or architectural, I always go here, just as a convention.
6 columns for each, and each of those foundation plans, excuse me, flip sheets, what sheet do we start with?
And it'll be that. Okay. So we're not done with this plan because we still need information from them. They're gonna do some hand sketching and we'll finish up that PV2 sheet. And then they need to give us a PV3 sheet also.
Okay.
But they need the site plan so they can get this off to their solar guy, who will then draw on that, and then I can draft.
Well,
So we'll be in an interim here. That's it. So I'm gonna well, okay, I'll show you a couple more things.
correct.
So then, when I'm getting ready to pass off a project, like let's just say we were finished,
Actually 14 also. Yeah.
I would do this.
10,
I would
10,
go,
11, 12, 10, 11,
I would go,
12, 13.
if I don't know the jurisdiction, then I'll just put to HJ. But when I know, I'll just put to Merced County. This would be 230301, and I'll call it like a submittal
2 more columns.
01.
And,
And then everything that I'm
yes.
submitting would go in there.
and in fact,
Okay.
there'd be
In this case, I actually don't have those things going on,
running the short
so
directions
I'm not gonna submit
and
the
2 running
calcs
the
right
long
now.
directions.
So I'm not
I
gonna,
gotta do-
I try and
I have
create
to do
this,
rigid
I think I've told you, I try and create this document so that you can come in here at any given point and go, I know exactly what I did. Okay, so I didn't do anything to Merced County today, I don't have a final submittal there, so this is just for pretend. What I'm really gonna do is I do have this, I have 2 Moscardi.
You could just do royalty. Okay.
I could, yeah, that's better, but whatever. So 2301, and I'm not even gonna label it. And then once I get this thing printed here, are you done? Yeah, you're done. View plotted file. I might come in here and just, once again, I always double check my,
Yeah, they show
My
a center
stuff.
column, they show a center column of all. Now 13,
It's looking
one,
good.
you know, you really don't need one. You
That's there.
really don't need a column.
That's
They're
there.
showing columns.
it's all looking good.
Full, and,
The headers are
you know, they're
good,
putting
that's
the light
good.
There.
So I mean, that's all legit.
And then they're also.
Kinda don't
all
really
these-
need that
these are
plan,
all
but I'm not gonna get rid of it now. I'm missing my,
they've got siding on 3
north arrow.
sides.
So, you know, and that's part of what I do here, is like make sure what
And
happened.
then typically
Where'd my north arrow
at the, at one of the ends.
Oh, I turned it off.
there's
I guess
a-
there's a layer that,
There's a door open, or an
Um,
opening, it's not necessarily. So
so
that,
let's see.
that
I think
would
I have
probably
NA
necessitate
for north arrow.
a,
No?
Another column, and that would be a 2.
Arrow. I'm not even in the plan. I'm not even in it. How about over here?
Yeah,
Cameron.
What's your random circle?
It's just an opening, it looks like. Just
What do
looks
you
like
think of
it's
this?
just opening, it's not
I had
a
one to
door.
look at.
Yeah, I mean.
The
we-
circle's
yeah,
for,
we could do
for the
something-
engineer stand.
Something cold.
Let me get out of here, and once again, let's go to the right,
34, okay.
and don't I have north here?
Uh-huh.
No? What is wrong with my north arrow?
Right.
I can't remember what, NA, there it is, NACS?
What is a service entry
No.
meter? I don't know what
Yeah.
it is.
Something's off, where is this? Alright, I'm going to
Okay.
on
And-
and on. There it is.
I can look at it, sheet you want.
How'd that get put on layer
38.
0?
Okay, 38.
Man.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so somehow 0 got
Those
shut
are-
off,
Those all.
and it's not even supposed to be on there. It's supposed to be over here. So I'm
Kind
gonna
of.
go-
That one north side, right, well, that's the back side, that's the
What's that?
south side.
Okay.
The
Oh, like
north-
how it's coming
the
out of the
north
box
is
there.
open,
Don't
but
you know
The
the
north
west
arrow, it's sticking out of
and
the box.
south are
Oh,
fully
yeah.
enclosed,
Sure.
and then east has got
But,
an opening in it.
That's alright.
So,
yeah,
but
that's
the
all right,
north,
that's
the
fine.
north side,
That's
it looks
fine,
like.
'cause
looks like
it'll
you're
print
basically
fine.
signing three
Okay, so let me go
sides.
back to here.
And,
Is there any other issues
small
before I
side
print
is
again?
always open.
That was an issue. I took care of that right now, so it's a blank sheet. Boom, boom. Okay.
That's what they show in the plans,
boom.
and I,
So,
you know, I don't think we.
I'll do this
I don't
one more
think we're
time.
gonna- I don't think we need it.
no, no,
From a.
I'm gonna do it
from
2
a
more times
structural
at least.
standpoint. I think I can get stuff to work without it.
Why?
Yeah, why not go for 5?
It just depends if they're.
Well, I wanna do
you know,
better than I
so
did
that-
last time when I did one of these. She had me change it like 5
I
different
mean,
times.
that's something
for
we
real.
have to ask them. is
And,
if, you know,
they-
if
they
you have
just-
to put a call in.
They're having problems submitting it to the county
Um,
of San Luis Obispo. Don't know why they're giving trouble.
So,
Alright,
yeah,
so
'cause
got
I,
that.
you know,
You can get rid of this.
going by what they show on
Close
the
it out.
plans,
And
you
close
have
this
to,
out.
but if they don't care,
And,
you know, it's kinda like, no, you could design it
I
you
can
know, the
shut
way-
that down.
structurally the way you want, yeah.
Get rid of this. And I don't need that anymore.
The one side is open. And I can
Shoot,
do, and
man.
I
I forgot to call John.
To this
John.
would be similar to the SASD.
Or Jose,
The big-
place where we
big
need to go
canopy,
right
where,
now.
you know, we have I-beams all the way around, and so.
Okay, so
and
let's
then
go look
what
at
I
this
would do is I
again.
would put a brace,
Make sure we're better
probably
than we were
a tube
before.
brace in the,
Ooh.
yeah,
Ooh. Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, good. Yeah. Alright, I like it. Okay, so we will take that file in the structure and I get rid of that solar one.
yeah, I'm not sure.
And then I'm gonna go over here under correspondence to
Okay,
Muscovy.
yeah, I'm looking at that one now.
Okay, and just to kind of like throw some stuff here, I want to say, hey, check this.
Oh, you got a Tascadero in there
Where?
Yeah, no, you can.
on your contractor. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter.
He is a he is a contractor.
Well,
Is he
see,
actually
I
a
have to have
Tascadero?
a moment frame in the long direction, and I
Yeah,
can go.
the contractor, not the project.
with,
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no, they don't, in their drawings, they didn't show wide flat sections, but the specs
Okay.
say that all the beams and columns, where's that spec sheet?
Get this off too.
Yeah, let's see, this was section,
Tim and
what spec section?
Alyssa.
Under section 1073,
I'm
so 10,730, the pre-engineered method.
Please.
Um,
attached
It then says, under part,
when you get a chance.
part
Please fill in the
2.02
data
B, structural frame
PB.
components.
one and
Yeah, so you need,
P.
right, but this was the
And-
structural, this is talking about shall consist of rigid steel W frames, purlins, roof bracing, side vertical bracing, and framing for roof penetration. Hold form shall be not less than 16 gauge. So
Drafted.
they're specifying that the frames shall be
Here.
W shapes.
Having a great Wednesday. Blessings. Okay.
Right. So
Wrong signature.
right.
Oh,
But I
shoot.
need to get a frame. I can't put a moment.
Come on. Come on.
Reading it, I can't
Right,
have
what's
the
the
base
wrong
be moment resistant. I have
That
to have
right
a pin.
there. Okay.
So that's why I've gotta use like a diagonal brace.
Yeah. Well, what I could do, depending on when they get it,
Diagonal
when
brace.
they come back, is whether I'll be able to wait or not. Oh shoot! I gotta take care of him too. Darn it.
Well, this wouldn't be the column, this would be running between the, you know, from the Y flange up,
Yeah, there you go.
from the rafter to the,
So, Yeah, we're all good.
to the columns.
Camerino, we're done. And I usually,
They are,
Yeah, it's
and if
very
I could
receipt.
just do, if I could just do a moment.
so
base,
that's that.
they wouldn't
So,
be
let's just say we're done.
anything
um,
that we did, you know.
We didn't
the
do this on
normal
the last
stuff.
one. And so, I guess, there's a couple things we ought to do, but let me
Call John.
call John. I don't wanna go
Or
too,
Jose,
Okay.
rather.
Actually,
Jose,
I'd rather
Jose's his
use it on
name.
the long
Yeah.
distance, 'cause that's where, oh wait,
I accidentally spoke the language there for a second.
I don't know why we got John there.
yeah, 'cause I.
He told me
You know, it's really
that
good.
Wednesday, 11 to 1.
I couldn't find anything in there that says you couldn't have a moment at the base, which would be your normal
Hi, Jose.
system.
Realized I never
And,
confirmed meeting with you today.
well, yeah, moment frame,
Does
when they're saying
this
moment frame, what they're generally implying is that there's no moment at the base. Is that, you know, the moment's taken out in the column,
Come out and take
the view column connection. That's why I could do it in the, put a moment frame in the two long directions. And I would need basically a lifeline section all the way around the perimeter. I could do a moment frame in two long
okay.
sections.
In the
and
meantime,
put a brace
assuming we're
frame
done.
in short directions because
Howdy. Have fun playing with your toy?
What's that?
Have fun playing with your toy?
Toy.
Your little
Well, it doesn't say you
toolkit.
got that.
Hi, dude, I haven't even logged into it
They
yet.
haven't done it yet.
Yeah, haven't even logged into it yet.
And
One day off yesterday to go to this seminar, and just, the whole world fell apart for some reason. I need
brace
this, I need that.
frames, it also said bracing.
Everything's been pretty chill for the last few weeks, like people have needed stuff, but I've been getting stuff done, submitting some plans. Yesterday's the first day I take off, and I go to that thing, and I'm like, I don't know how many calls I just kept ignoring.
Yeah, vertical side
Dealt with
bracing.
them
So
last
see, it
night.
said,
The emails I had, I was just like, fuck.
steel rigid frames,
Well, this is ridiculous. I called you 3 times a day, you call back, I'm like,
side vertical
I was
bracing.
in
But I can't get a
fucking
side
seminar
vertical
for
brace
88, so I
in,
said, sorry.
Yeah.
in the
No,
long
oh.
direction because one of them's open.
Oh, you should
Back
let
side
people
is
know.
closed, but the front side is open.
Because I didn't get
so
back to you today.
So I can't get a brace.
You called me
I can get
today.
a brace
I'll call you tomorrow. Like, are you serious?
Get a brace.
I'll call you for 3 freaking weeks or something, call me and get pissed off at me, but a day or two when you call and leave a message and I haven't gotten back to you, like, are you serious? Like,
Yeah.
I'll come over.
I'm just gonna, those are pictures that I take home, Joe, if you happen to need them, I was cleaning my computer off.
Okay, hang on just a second. Okay. I'm gonna put you on mute here. What was this? Now this was.
Those are just pictures for that weird dude's retaining wall. When I was
Oh,
at the site, I was cleaning off my phone, and I
Oh.
don't need them anymore. I figured if you needed them to keep for your records, I
Oh,
took a
okay.
job site picture, so I
Okay.
figured,
Cool.
no reason to delete them, I'll just give them to you so you can keep them in your file.
All right, thanks.
All right, so you know, we'll figure out the QuickBooks thing later.
We still recording?
We are.
I lost you there.
This is our